Hey, get me out here. Today we had a bunch of card changes announced, 4 buffs and 8 nerfs, and I just wanted to record a short video talking about my initial impressions about how these nerfs are going to change these cards and potential meta decks. So, before we get started, I want to shout out Imic Plays on Twitter for creating these images for us to use. Make sure you guys follow him on Twitter. And of course, if you like this content, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. It's free and it supports me a lot. Alright, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first buff is one that I'm actually really excited for, especially in Wild. So if you've been watching my stream or watching any of this YouTube content, you know that I love me some Libram Paladin. And this change to Aldor Attendant from a 2-mana 2/3 to a 1-mana 1/3 is actually really good. Mainly because of the synergy with Crystology. Right, so now you get to run double Crystology, you run double Aldor Attendant, you run double Righteous Protector, and it tutors your Linessa as well. And it's really important because tutoring those Aldor Attendants to make your Explorer's Hat Libram that much cheaper, that much quicker is insanely important for the deck. So I am really excited for Aldor Attendant. While I don't think this is going to take Libram Paladin to a viable top tier meta deck, it's going to make it from a pretty bad meme deck to a pretty playable, potentially, tier 5, tier 4 viable meme deck in Wild. I think this card opens up the Libra potential for sure in Wild. So the next couple of buffs are all the Shaman cards, which I'm all about because I do love me some Shaman. So first of all, we have Torrent going from 5 mana to 4 mana. I still don't think this sees play in Even Shaman at all. I just don't think it solves any of the problems that Even Shaman really has in the meta. But what I do like this is I was running a Shutterwalk Shaman that ran the spell package. And this is just really nice in there. A 1 mana potential deal 8 is pretty insane. Especially when trying to kill stuff like Mal'Ganis without having to use some of your polymorph effects. I really like the card. I don't think it's going to be strong enough for Even Shaman, but look to explore this in stuff like Rena Shaman and Shutterwalk Shaman. Speaking of, we have Shattered Rumbler. Again, I don't think this buff is very relevant, and I don't think this change changes too much in Wild. And then Lurker Below now is actually a 6/5. It's actually good stats now for 6 mana, which is really good. I think it's great now in Shutterwalk Shaman. I think it's great in Reno Shaman. And I think the big thing is you actually look at potentially playing it in Even Shaman now as kind of another anti-aggro card in the deck. Great against Pirates. Probably really good against Demon Hunter. So I think Lurker is really good. And I definitely think this is probably the most impactful buff because it actually could potentially see play now in the tier 1 deck in Even Shaman. So Even Shaman might need to do a little bit more refinement post buff with this card. Alright, so now we're getting to some of the nerfs. Demon Hunter is getting nerfed again. So first off, we have Priestess of Fury going from a 6/7 to a 6/5, but the effect is staying the same. So the reason Priestess of the Fury was so good was because it was kind of the top-end finisher for the deck, and the reason it was the top-end finisher was because it was a consistent damage effect on a body that was really hard to remove. Now, with it being 5 health, it's a lot easier to remove. And this is actually probably the nerf that I'm kind of the most iffy on because I don't know how this is actually going to affect the card too much. Yes, it's worse, but the effect is still really strong. You might still want to run 2 of these and not Demon Hunter, but just as easily you might be getting ready to cut them because they only go off once, right? So you could totally cut these for a second Leroy, or a Leroy to give you that second burst effect, rather, sorry. And you can totally run a second Warglaves now without feeling bad. But I do want to play a lot with Priestess because the effect is still strong enough that I might still want to run it. The second kind of big nerf to Demon Hunter, though, Crimson Sigil Runner now getting nerfed to a 1/1, meaning that there's absolutely zero way you want to be playing this in your odd Demon Hunter decks now, which means that you should totally be going back to the Pirate package if you ever cut them, kind of giving you those 9/1 drops with Battle Fiend, Lowly Squire, Beaming Sidekick, and now the Pirate package. Just Crimson Sigil Runner is just way too bad now. You never are going to run it because it's a 1/1. Scavenger's Ingenuity getting nerfed. This card I actually really liked, and I think it like Arena Hunter, the reason that it's so successful, okay, and I say successful with air quotes, is because of the ability for the deck to kind of filter its draws, right? This targeted draw and tutoring effects that Hunter does so well, right? It's part of what makes the deck so consistent and so good. And Scavenger's Ingenuity was just another one of those cards, right? Drawing you your Griffin, drawing you your Zixor before or after it's died. I think Scavenger's Ingenuity was just really, really good. But I can totally see why it's being nerfed. Just because kind of the 3/3 swing effect is kind of dumb, right? When you curve into it into Zixor. I don't know if this is a standard nerf or if they saw it potentially being a problem in Wild. I don't really play too much standard. But I didn't think Hunter was dominating there. So this was kind of an interesting nerf to me. I'm not sure where this nerf came from, but I'm kind of really sad that it got nerfed because it was actually potentially, pushing Hunter and Wild, which is really good, right? It's what you want to see. But that getting nerfed is kind of iffy for me, and I don't think it's going to see play now post-nerf. So now we're getting to some nerfs that were super relevant for Standard. So Shadow Jeweler Hanar, Blackjack Stunner, and Scrap Imp. I think all of these are definitely nerfed because of Standard. I don't think these nerfs are going to have a big impact in Wild because none of them really saw play in Wild. The strategy that actually saw play in Wild when it came to the new Rogue stuff was Stealth instead of Secret. So again, these aren't going to have a terrible impact on the Wild meta. All right, and then we had Blood Boil Brute going from 6 attack to 5 attack. Again, I don't really think this saw play anywhere except for maybe Galakron Warlock or Galakron Warrior in some lists, but not all lists. So I don't really think this one is going to be very impactful at all for either format, honestly. And then last but not least, we have a nerf to Bloodsworn Mercenary from a 3/3 to a 2/2. So all the effects still stays the same if you're trying to play a combo deck. The 2/2 kind of board swing with the card. It's relevant, it's pretty big. But what this means is that Galakron Warriors are pretty much going to be shying away from this enrage strategy in Wild now because of the nerfs to Blood Boil Brute and this card. And so you're going to be looking at maybe just a Corsair Cash, Wrench Caliber bomb build, or just the normal like Pirate hit you in the face build. So, so those are the nerfs. I think the big kind of takeaways from this set of balance changes from Hearthstone is, first of all, they're very proactive with their changes, which is awesome. I love to see it, and I love this mindset and balance philosophy from Hearthstone. It's awesome to see. But the big results: Odd Demon Hunter definitely getting knocked down in power level, but as you guys might see, a little bit of a spoiler alert here. The data shows that Odd Demon Hunter is a very, very, very good deck, and it's probably correct in getting knocked down in power level. But the deck is still, even with these two changes, is still very, very viable and probably will still be very, very good post nerfs. And then the other kind of big shift, looking at some Shaman archetypes potentially getting better. Specifically, maybe even Shaman with Lurker from below. And Libram Paladin getting a buff with Aldorton. It's actually a pretty big buff. And then Hunter getting nerfed with Scavenger's Ingenuity. Kind of like the one big thing that they had going for it. So yeah, Demon Hunter and Hunter getting nerfs, whereas Paladin and Shaman getting buffs, which is awesome to hear. And I love this balanced philosophy from the Hearthstone design team. But yeah, guys, those are my opinions and thoughts on the card balance changes. If you guys enjoyed content like this, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. It's free. It supports me a lot. I hope to see you guys around, whether it's on other videos or in my stream. Take care, guys. Have a good one. Later.